Hello, welcome to September 15th, 2024. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily good life meditation. This is an exercise that I do every morning, a little bit after waking up, to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use the time to think about the last 24 hours, including last night, and how I did with the various challenges and opportunities that I met. I planned for the coming day, and I ready myself to die. So it's a lot to accomplish in a few minutes. But it sets the tone for the rest of the day and sets my objectives and helps me to adjust and tune from the last 24 hours. So let's start. Last night's sleep and yesterday. I slept good. It was a cold night, like that. Rudy is still sleeping outdoors. I bundle him in his little crate outside so he's nice and safe from the bobcats and the owls. He's still got his door open so he can slip in if he wants, if it gets too cold for him. And I cover up he's nicely bundled up in there, and you cover up the crate with blankets so you can just peek out the one area. So he seems to be happy in that capacity. But it's getting cold enough, and in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have to force him to stay inside. In a couple of weeks, he'll be gone. I mean, the other dog will be gone. Ollie, Rudy will be just the one remaining because Ollie's going to fly to Japan. Yesterday, any challenges? I just walked through my list, my to-do list. Let me show you. It's really helpful to have a list of the things that I want to do every day. And I'm refining it and changing it as I get ready for Japan. So this is yesterday. Everything on the one column there is all the stuff that I did yesterday, and then everything on the right column is my work stuff. Given that it was Saturday, there was no work, so I divide it by columns. When I get to Japan, I'll have no work column anymore, and it'll be just a me column, I call it. Although it says me, I try to do things that are more endeavors towards greater virtue than just my own self-serving interests. So a lot of that, as I did all those things, it took me 3/4 of the day to do all of that. So if I'm in wonder about what I'm going to do with my free time once I'm retired, well, the boys are just finishing their breakfast. They're making a little noise. Well, I certainly will have plenty enough to do if I just do this, attend to this list, which is going to grow when I get into Japan. There was a challenge yesterday. I talked about it a little bit in yesterday's meditation, where um, my wife was clearly not feeling good in the morning on her time, or in the evening on her time. She couldn't sleep. And so I called her up and we talked, and it turned out that the reason was because she was not adjusting well to being on her own in her place. We realized, as I said in yesterday's video, it was the first time she'd lived alone. So we talked about that, and we came up with a game plan, and we decided that the thing to do is to not postpone homemaking till we buy a home, but to make the current place we're in a home. So she set off to do just that, and she had a good day yesterday, endeavoring towards those ends. And wouldn't you know it, yesterday is also a day I found a humdinger of a house, really nice within our target area. All the amenities. Wouldn't it be funny if we wind up buying a house just as we start setting up an apartment? That would be just like us to get our wires crossed. It's okay, we can do that. It's all right. Life gets messy sometimes. That's not a problem we can't recover from, because the lease is a month-to-month lease, so I guess it's a rental on the apartment, so we can split the apartment anytime we want. So Yumiko is careful to get that done that way. What else? I spent some time yesterday working on the finances, making sure that we're going to be okay. Basically, what I was trying to do was to make sure that we can buy a house and cover the apartment and get all that done. So even if a house comes up right away, we can still cover it. And it's a matter of moving retirement funds around and pulling funds out in a way that doesn't put us into big tax consequences. And by big tax consequences, all I mean by that is bump us up into a higher tax rate. One of the benefits of being older and retired is that not making the same type of income that I made in my working years, I can enjoy the benefits of a lower tax bracket, if that's what you can call it a benefit. It is a benefit. And if we're careful about how we use our retirement funds, we can manage our taxes. That's the point. But the house is a bit of a big hit. So some of the funds that are set aside will be used for that, which will then cost us. You get the idea, right? So I was working on that yesterday, got that straightened out, got that sorted out. That was good. Anything? Oh, one big particular challenge was that Rudy, come here, come here. This is Rudy. He's the dog that's going to stay with me. Yeah, he's not a very social dog. He loves me and nobody else, and even me he bites. So I've been trying to train him in this time alone to make him more comfortable with other people. And we go to Julian and the other dog too every afternoon, every evening, and we walk the streets of Julian. That's my dog walk basically. It's a 55 minute to 1 hour drive just to go walk the dogs each way, right? So I commute 2 hours each way just to take the dogs to civilization so that they can walk the streets and sniff the smells and et cetera, et cetera. They're city dogs for sure. They'll do well in Shizuoka. So the thing was that I realized that I could train him by giving him affection. He doesn't care about treats, etc. And I think I've talked about this before. But so I've been taking him to Julian and trying to train him on the busy streets there on the weekends, especially, so that he doesn't bark at people or even growl or anything. And I've got him pretty well trained. We had a good, successful day yesterday in Julian, didn't we? There were so many people, and you didn't growl or bark except just once, right? And that one time was kind of understandable because that person kind of ambushed you, huh? So good boy. Go ahead, go back and guard the property. So that was yesterday and last night. As for the creed, my Good Life Creed, there are 8 objectives. These are the things I'm striving for every day. These are how I'm seeking to live my life. And the things that are in this list are all aiming towards that as well in various ways. 1, to be always ready to die, to have my affairs in order, my relationship sound, and my life's work, if not complete, at least in a state of relative completeness. In my case, it's complete. 2, to develop and maintain good and sound life. No, that's number 3. Number 2 is to number one to be always ready to die. 2, to make good and effective use of time. That's right, not to waste my time. 3, so you'll never find me watching a rerun on TV. In fact, you'll rarely find me watching TV at all. I work hard every day, if not on my job, on my personal objectives to make good use of my days. All of the things that are on here are all things that are relative towards improving world. We're leaving. I believe that this creed that I've developed is helpful, that I call the good life, and I'm finding ways to codify it and echo it throughout all my life, all my work, online, particularly on YouTube, so that when I die, I can say, hey, well, I found out a good way to live, and I shared that good way to live, and there you go. So that's my endeavor. That's my good use of time. And of course, that also considers being a good husband and a father, family member, citizen, etc. 3, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. That's what the Good Life Creed is. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions so that I respond well to the circumstances that happen. Yesterday I was working on that on some comments. Now that my videos are starting to get more traction, now that there's more Japan related mentions at least, the weird comments are starting to come back. And I'm getting good I'm practicing at not reacting to those things in any personal way, but to see them as simply the expression of that individual. And as long as they're not nasty, I will just let them be and leave a response thanking them, if at minimum saying, thank you for sharing your thoughts. That's a wholesale good practice. It helps to engender in me a sensation of, or a sense of people have their perspectives, and their operating systems are tuned in such a way, and they're going to reflect back if they watch one of my videos and share what's relevant from their perspective. And I don't have to agree necessarily. And I can leave a comment as much, or just say thank you for your comment. Next is to cultivate good, to perform good actions, just to do good things throughout the day. Then to recognize my true limits and my true opportunities, so I'm working within the bounds of what's possible and recognizing what isn't in my life. And then finally to keep my balance, both here and here. As for today, It's a Sunday. All my chores are done. The house is clean. Shopping is done. I've got to go through my list. I haven't yet made today's list. It'll look a lot like yesterday's list. I have to do that. I'll chat with my wife and catch up on all those things. And then in the late afternoon, depending on the temperature, I'll take the dogs to Idlewild, which is our big Sunday outing because it's a little further, about an hour and 10 minutes to get there, where we'll do more socializing and good dog walking. As for that, my day is ready to begin. My coffee is brewed. My dogs are fed. They're walked. I took them for a walk already. I'm going to have my Sunday treat, pancakes. I'm going to make myself a couple of pancakes, flapjacks, so to speak, and begin my day in earnest. And for you, I wish you all the best. Remember to be safe, but not too safe. Take care and cheers.